Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. George Pickens faces uncertain Steelers future, insider. The DK Metcalf trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers makes less sense if the team also plans to trade fellow receiver George Pickens this offseason. But the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo didn't rule out that possibility. While appearing on 93.7 The Fan on March 14, Fittipaldo argued it's not clear if Pickens will begin the 2025 season on the Steelers roster. "I'll say yes for now, but that is totally up in the air," said Fittipaldo, via Steelers Depot's Joe Clark. In 2025, Pickens will enter the final season of his rookie contract. It's unlikely he will receive an extension this summer, with the Steelers agreeing to a 4-year, $132 million contract with Metcalf this past week. Pickens has been Pittsburgh's top wideout in terms of yardage the past 2 seasons. During 2024, he posted 59 catches for 900 yards while averaging 15.3 yards per reception. Up to George Pickens whether he stays with Steelers? Fittipaldo addressed Pickens' future on the radio multiple times during the first week of NFL free agency. Even though Pickens is under contract for 1 more season, Fittipaldo argued on March 12 that his future is in his hands. "If George is a good soldier, and he comes in, and he works, and he puts his head down, and he wants to be a part of this thing, I think there will probably be a tendency to keep him," Fittipaldo said on 93.7 The Fan, via Steelers Depot's Josh Carney. "What this Metcalf acquisition does, it gives them all of their options, right? So if they do want to trade George this week, they could do that. If they want to trade George on draft day, they could do that. You'd probably get, I don't know about a second, you'll probably get maybe a third in return for him. Maybe you could turn around and draft another receiver, a guy who's going to be here beyond next season. So that's the difficult part of this." Carney described the situation as a test for Pickens. If he can show he has matured and will cooperate with the Steelers in 2025, Pittsburgh's passing offense could have a really big 2025 campaign. Whether that's with the Steelers or not, that would result in the largest payday for Pickens. Trading Pickens gets the Steelers back to where they were a week ago, with only one above-average receiver on the roster. But if Pickens becomes a problem, the Steelers might not have a choice but to trade him. Will Pickens pass the Steelers' test? Assuming the Steelers are testing Pickens, if the young receiver passes the test, then the Steelers will be big initial winners of the Metcalf trade. With Metcalf and Pickens, Pittsburgh may have the best deep threat combination in the league. But Pickens has yet to truly show he's matured, and testing him to display that now could backfire tremendously. This is the same receiver that appeared to be flirting with the Kansas City Chiefs after a loss on Christmas Day. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio argued that with a brief post-game handshake during a Netflix interview, Pickens was telling Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to come get me. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the drama surrounding Pickens. That drama is the reason why Pittsburgh sports personalities such as Mark Madden have argued the Steelers can't afford to extend Pickens a new contract. They can't afford it now from a financial perspective. But Pickens can still be part of a special duo in 2025. That, though, may be up to him. Pittsburgh Steelers have a new fallback option at quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers need a plan C if Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson decide to go elsewhere. So, could they turn to a familiar face that was once their biggest rival? Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk says Joe Flacco could be an option for Pittsburgh. Eventually, he'll get an offer. Maybe more than one, Florio said. And if the Steelers are looking to go cheaper at the position than Rodgers, Flacco could be their best move. Flacco started 6 games for the Colts in 2024, amassing 1,781 yards with 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. One of his best games came against the Steelers, where he replaced Anthony Richardson due to injury and led the Colts to a 27-24 win. If you purchase a product or register for an account through a link on our site, we may receive compensation. By using this site, you consent to our user agreement and agree that your clicks, interactions, and personal information may be collected, recorded, and/or stored by us and social media and other third-party partners in accordance with our privacy policy. Steelers receive positive update amid Aaron Rodgers' pursuit. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the 3 teams who have been viewed as finalists for future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, who parted ways with the New York Jets after 2 disappointing seasons, is taking his time making a decision. He seemingly would prefer to sign with the Minnesota Vikings, but the Vikings may not reciprocate that interest. Currently, the process is being held up as Rodgers waits to see if Minnesota wants to sign him. As for the Steelers, there is a new update that provides optimism about their chances of landing the 41-year-old star signal caller. According to ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, as shared by Steelers Depot on X, the Vikings could prefer to develop J.J. McCarthy rather than bringing Rodgers on board. That would increase Pittsburgh's chances dramatically. I'm told from sources that Rodgers does have standing offers from the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Giants. Teams are waiting this out, waiting on Rodgers, Fowler reported. The feeling is there's not just a money consideration here. There's fit, there's surroundings, all those things. Minnesota Vikings are sort of on the periphery here. Sources there tell me that it's possible they get involved with Rodgers, but the feeling this week has been probably not. They want to develop J.J. McCarthy. Following their off-season blockbuster trade to acquire star wide receiver DK Metcalf, the Steelers have put together an offense that could be among the league's elite. Adding Rodgers to lead the offense could make them even more dangerous. During the 2024 NFL season with the Jets, Rodgers completed 63% of his passes for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. He still has good football left in him. Are you a fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.